right. What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 353. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me. I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
Carlos Romero.
Yo, man. Going back to the four-man crew again.
You already know. And Brett Murdoch.
Yep, old school.
All right. We are fatherless tonight. No, no Chris, no Adam, and Brian may have kids. Who knows? But he's like the British contingent. Anyway, so yeah, we got the four of us tonight.
He's sending off what's his name? 007 James Bond. Because it's his last movie. People sending him off. Brian's like,
okay.
He has a vigil for Bond, I guess.
More than likely.
Yeah. All right, so just jump right into it. Dumeke. Controversial question. Already. We haven't even started the show already getting controversy.
Man, I gotta brace myself already. I thought
as a matter of fact, before we even start the because we got caught up talking about Star Wars and all this other nonsense beforehand. Manny, for featured image, Xbox with a bunch of warning signs.
Okay.
Inspired by this question. All right. First question of the night. Okay. What's going on at Xbox? Halo is launching with yet more standard features missing, this time leaderboards, and now their quadruple A studio needs help. Talking about the initiative, which Microsoft called a quadruple A studio. If you guys remember, we talked about that on the show. He goes, is this a real concern or just fanboy fodder? Keep in mind, people have already come and gone from the initiative. Drew Murray joined Insomniac. So, yeah, he's seeing the Halo Infinite situation. He's seeing the whole thing with the initiative. What's going on with the initiative is they're getting, I believe, Crystal Dynamics to help them with Perfect Dark. It's either them or Eidos. You guys can fill me in the chat. One of those Square Enix companies. So it's just a sign of bad times at Xbox. I'm going to say it's just things just happening all at once. I don't think it's a sign of rot in the within the company or anything. It's just these two kind of big things happening concurrently. So it kind of makes it seem like things are just worse than they actually are. But I would say Xbox actually in a pretty good spot right now. Obviously, we're not getting a bunch of games like we would like, but with the whole Bethesda thing, now we're seeing some things kind of rolling in that end. Game Pass is still doing very well, so I'm not gonna say things are going super swimmingly over there. Things are still moving, but they're not.
They're looking up.
Yeah, they're looking up. Yes, yeah, projections are looking up, but they're not down for sure. So, what do you guys think?
I will say this.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I will say this. I mean, they are looking up, but after the end of this year, we'll know when to hit the panic button or not. Because Forza Horizon 5 and Halo Infinite are the two big hitters. Even though I'm looking forward to it, and I played the beta this weekend, I'm still wondering about Halo Infinite. I wonder how it's all going to be, especially with the campaign. So we'll see at the end of the year how they are. As far as right now, I still say they're on the upward trajectory. Even something like Deathloop is kind of like a win for Microsoft.
Yeah,
because,
it is.
That studio and the IP will probably most likely reside on Game Pass in the future. So we'll see what happens after this year. Halo Infinite is obviously the big game that's gonna kick off everything. So we'll know if it's gonna be on a sour note or in a happy one.
Yeah, for sure. Brett, any thoughts? Xbox in trouble?
No. I mean, they have been building something for a good little while now. And they've been playing the long game, and they haven't really shown their hand yet. We are probably getting close in the sense that we're starting to see releases of games and rumors of games. Starfield's probably the big front of that, where Xbox potentially has games. We've been waiting for that for a while. So I say things are looking up because we're not there yet. We don't have those things to definitively look forward to. They just kind of been circling the drain, like Fable, for instance, right? But if you ask me, the kind of mid-gen stride that we're going to hit probably in the next couple of years is when we might actually see Xbox be a solid competition. We might have an actual console war on our hands. I know that's big words, but I mean, think about it. We all here know that all Bethesda stuff is coming to Xbox. It's almost definitely not coming to PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I think we're all in agreement with that. So like, as Bethesda's catalog comes out more and more, it's going to put a lot of IPs in Microsoft's hands, and I think they're already there, but I don't think a lot of people realize, or they're not thinking about all of these things when you're like, oh man, well, they got Dishonored, and they got Duke Nukem, and they got Doom, and they got Elder Scrolls, they got Starfield, they got Fallout. That's gonna convince a lot of people, because a lot of those games are and I don't know, I'm the only person that kind of feels this way. These things exist, but a lot of those games are kind of system sellers. They're kind of games that harken back to people's childhood that they're willing to shell out the money to be able to play. So if they already have a PlayStation, they may get an Xbox too. And I think that's how we'll see this whole thing manifest. Not necessarily people towing the line and switching their allegiance, but a lot of people having both systems because you'll need to. And that's how people, the reason people say that they have it, because I need to. Because I want to play the PlayStation big AAA exclusives, but I also want to play Fallout.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I would have to think that the prices of both consoles would have to drop before that happens, but that would be good. Obviously, the hardcore ultra fanboys will never do that, but reasonable people, I can see them doing that.
Yeah, we can have the lower tier of both systems. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was gonna say also again, like you don't actually need an Xbox to play any of the Xbox titles.
Yeah, that's another factor.
Granted, granted, I think there are a few that aren't don't work on the PC version of it, but I mean, I'm sure every single current gen title is probably going to be set up to go on there. At least all the first parties.
And if you don't have a PC, you got one of these. Play on your phone. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
And Mr. Phil and Uncle Phil said, Steam corroborated this, that they have a web browser, so you can run the web browser version of Xbox Game Pass. And who's to say that Microsoft can't make a front end that you can't download through Steam?
Yeah.
To use their services.
Yeah,
they can't. They could. That's within their possibilities, unless Steam has some sort of funky overhead that they're like, oh no, you can't have microtransactions in your inside of your thing, or what, or services or like that on there. But to be honest, it's like, you
don't even need that. Just download the Xbox app and you're good to go.
Yeah, you just get you download the Xbox app and then you're good to go.
That's it. So again, like Microsoft said, their whole thing is like they want to reach the billions of mobile users out there. They could grab those, even a percent of that. It'll be good. They'll be good.
The only thing I would have to say about it, I still do not trust the speed of mobile services. Yeah. Where as far as doing latency, but they could also be doing that predictive AI that a lot of these guys have been talking about with streaming services, where essentially it sort of predicts what you're going to do next or as soon as you sort of do it.
Yeah. So Xbox is again on the upward trajectory, but we shall see. So Carlos, would you say by the end of the year we should start looking at them more closely?
Yeah, I guess we can sort of see what, I think this is year one of a multi-year sort of initiative, no pun intended, of what their long-term vision has been, because we've been talking about for years. It feels like it's been years, and I'm pretty sure it's been years about hey, Microsoft's acquiring studios, so then let's chill out, let's give them some time, let them grow, and that's been at least. We've done this for at least 3 years, and the Bethesda thing has been over a year. So this year is the first year. We got Psychonauts 2, which was a Double Fine game, which I think it got pretty good praise on for the people that played it.
I think the reviews were good, but I think what happened with it, just like the previous Psychonauts, it really didn't sell very well. And that game was also multi-platform. That was not only on Xbox; it was also on PlayStation as well.
Yeah. Well, and Game Pass doesn't help sales, although it does help engagement. So, that's one of the things that we're going to have to go with, because the more traditional way of looking at sales for a game to dictate its success is going to be harder with Game Pass. So we'll see how that goes. And then, we got Forza and we got Halo. So those are three exclusive titles and 2 big franchises. And we'll see at the end of the year how those things stacked up, and we'll go accordingly. Obviously, Starfield is the mega hitter for next year. So we'll see if Halo is a disappointment, then people are going to be looking with their shoulders crossed or their arms crossed, and it's just all about perspective at that point until they deliver.
Obviously, they're sort of set up like the Netflix sort of way of doing, or most streaming services. They're looking for those sort of, heavy hitters to get people to subscribe. So I'm wondering the things that are coming, what are we going to see, and will these things be the grounds for people to want to subscribe to these things? It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next question here. This one is also from Tumeke. And he goes, okay, remove the fact that a few of you work in the gaming industry. What would make you go, fuck this, I'm out, and quit gaming? Personally, for me, it would be if I was forced to build a fucking PC.
My man Tumeka is all about the console life. What would make me say fuck you to gaming? I don't know, because there always seems to be something that's of interest, At least as far as playing games. I mean, to be honest, like there's also sort of 2 different sides of it. Like there's the internally working for the game industry. There's also reporting on the game industry. But I don't think that any of that says it really made me sour the industry, because there's always been something that I've liked about it. Unless there's I think if every single company, you know what it would be? If every single company went to the Fortnite aspect of gaming. Essentially, you just have these big sandbox worlds. You don't, essentially all you do is just shoot each other and get on the leaderboard. If every single game ended up being that would probably make me say no. I don't want to deal with this anymore, because it's all the same fucking game. It's just the big old sandbox that I don't care for that sort of gaming.
Yeah. For me, if you had asked me this 21 years ago, I'd be like, yo, if Sega left the industry, but we saw that shit only lasted for 3 months, and I got a PlayStation 2. No, but this specific question, I've thought about this for about 10 years, so I have my answer ready. Ready, because I remember, and it's funny because I joked about this and actually became a reality. I said
10 years in the making.
Yeah, so I had always, and I'm pretty sure I've said this on the show before, but I always said, like, if there comes a time where every single game is an MMO first-person shooting online game, I would go strictly retro. So I wouldn't stop gaming. I would just go back, not just to the stuff I used to play, stuff I never got around to. So that's what I would do. By the way, the game I just described is literally fucking Destiny. When Destiny came out, I was like, oh my God, that's the game. If they made it. Because I combined all the things I didn't like in that point in gaming in like the mid 2000s, online, first person, MMO. I'm like, if it becomes all this shit, I'm done. But that's what I said at that point. I was like, wait, I don't have to be done. Go back to the old school, So
it took you 10 years to come up with an answer that is not to make his question.
Yes, actually, I thought it was, because it is the answer. Well,
he said you have to stop. You have to stop gaming just in.
Yeah. Oh well, my answer is I can't stop gaming, bro. That's in the blood. Can't stop gaming. So I will stop modern gaming if every game just becomes open world online MMO bullshit, or in this case, the modern version, online battle royale open world bullshit. then I'll be like, I'm done. I'm going back to the old stuff. You know,
I would go with that. You know what? I did that when I was in when comics started sucking in the early 2000s.
Go back to the old stuff.
Early 2000s, late 90s, when that stuff started going sour. I just started reading old shit like The Spirit and all kinds of other old stuff.
There you go.
You know,
that's what I started doing now. I started reading those old Conans from the 70s. I'm like, this is fucking great. You know, how come they don't make comics like this anymore? You know? So yeah, that's my answer. I would just go back to the old school, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna change my answer. I'm gonna go with Tony.
Yeah. All right, Carlos, what about you, man?
You
know what I would do, Carlos? I'm sorry to cut you off. I would become the real Metal Jesus, you know? That's what I would do. I would make my YouTube channel. No, this one, Manny. We're doing this right now, man. Well, not right now. If it happens, you and I are going to be the metal messiahs, and we're going to start a YouTube channel. You know, two old geezers talking about metal and video games. You know,
Metal Jesus is failing a little bit because there's not enough metal.
I don't see the metal. I don't see the. I see the visually. I see the metal in him, but I don't hear the metal. I don't hear the talk about the metal, and I don't hear the metal. So, Manny, you and I, metal messiahs, we're doing this.
He did for a while. Used to do part of his pickups. He'd be like, "Hey, I just got this Iron Maiden album." Like he would actually show some album, but that's gone now.
Yeah, probably because the fans don't care about that. But
because they don't care about the metal, the metal Jesus.
Yeah, right. Anyway, Carlos, sorry to get you off. Go ahead, man.
It's not much. It probably has, and I guess the answer for me is it probably has nothing to do with gaming. If I like a lot of genres, so I guess it'll be hard for them to make something that I wouldn't kind of enjoy. But I think for me it'll be if I find a hobby. Well, I think it'll have to be a combination of things. Number one, I'd have to get in a fight with the Throwdown members and just get banished from the show.
What do you call my mama?
That'll be number one. You know. Number two, I'd have to find a hobby that'll replace gaming. And I mean, honestly, that doesn't seem like it's unlikely. For like, I love gaming, but it doesn't really define me. It's not like I'm like, if I get into car racing, I'll if I love it, if I like it a lot, I can replace gaming. I don't really owe gaming anything. It doesn't really control me. It doesn't really speak to me. It's just something that I enjoy doing. It's not something that it's something that I see doing for probably the rest of my life. But at the end of the day, it's just a hobby, and hobbies can easily be replaced with something else that can either, take place or surpass or supplant the emotions and the enjoyment and the engagement that I receive via gaming.
Wait, you dropping mics?
Yeah, I was about to say, yo, who let this dude on the show, man? Fake ass gamer, you know?
You dropping some mics?
Who let this motherfucker on the show right now, man? What's going on, Mighty Nerd? Yeah.
No,
we're good.
I would agree with that. I wouldn't say, at least for me, I wouldn't say that gaming is one part of a larger whole of my existence. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, not me. I would have to physically not be able to play games for me to stop him. Like, that's lifeblood shit right there. Cannot let go of gaming. No fucking way. That's like integral. That's like the main hobby. All the other hobbies go away. Gaming is the thing because it encompasses everything I love. Like let's say if I want to read a book, I'll just play an RPG. I got my book covered. And my gaming. If I want to watch a movie, play a game. You got that covered too. Yeah. It covers everything. And the thing is, I find it way more satisfying. Like that's part of the reason I don't really watch much TV and movies. I'm like, games are better than these fucking things. They're whack. Only novels are the only thing like I feel is up there with gaming for me, because it's also attractive because I got to actively imagine shit, but the other things where I'm just sitting there, watch them like, it's whack, compared to gaming. That's just me though, I could not let go of gaming. Like I have to be like,
Tony Polanco just says gaming is called all other media whack.
I did. I've been saying that,
I'll for me, I love gaming, but there's no story in gaming that can compare to the best novels out there. There's no cinematic in a video game that's better than any of my favorite movies. There isn't any uh, physical interaction with movies that I can experience better with someone of the opposite sex. So
Yeah,
it's just something it does pretty good job at combining a lot of stuff, but I don't think it's there's no story in a video game that comes close to the Song of Ice and Fire. There's no action video game that comes close to Terminator 2. It's a medium. We grade video game stories on a curve.
I don't
It's
know, man.
like,
Play
oh,
some
it's
Mass Effect, bro. You already that thing's better than a lot of sci-fi shows. Mass Effect, you know.
Man, compare Mass Effect to Terminator 2, your favoriteest
Yeah.
movie of all time.
Yeah. Well, that thing transcends all media. You know.
well, I'll say something controversial.
Uh-oh.
I fuck
Oh, what's
Mass Effect.
controversial?
Mass Effect one. Mass Effect is my favorite trilogy of all time in video game. Is my favorite video game trilogy. But I prefer Battlestar Galactica story to Mass Effect's.
Interesting. They don't even got aliens in Battlestar Galactica though, and I
Yeah,
love
but
me some Battlestar Galactica. You know.
But Battlestar Galactica has more of the emotion and more of the characters. Mr. Gata.
Yeah.
And like it has the betrayals. It has it has all of that.
Yeah.
Mass Effect is awesome because of the interactivity with the missions and the loyalty missions and stuff, and getting to go from one game to the third, and it's like kind of interconnected, not in the way that they promised, but but it's great. But for me, I like sports more than video games. I like movies and anime more than video games.
Hold on a second. You realize you guys are arguing semantics because you're painting video games with the most narrow definition possible, while giving everything else the biggest definition. So so you might like visual media better than video games. You might think like movies / television. They do a better job telling you stories. But what if I were to say, well, anime is its own category, movies are its own category, TV is its own category. I mean, video games is just a different way to intake your media. And saying what would make you give up on video games, to me at least, rings like, well, what would make you give up on TV? Like, I don't know, something horribly atrocious that's never going to actually fucking happen.
Yeah.
You can
Right.
stop.
You're right, Brett. You're 100% right.
You can stop playing a type of video game or stop engaging in certain types of video games. Maybe even the industry as a whole will go away from where you like. But like, there's always going to be a niche there. The same way, like, and I could say the same thing. I would like long form TV is better to me than movies. I can't think of a series of movies that have told a stronger story, in my opinion, than long form TV. But it's still just visual media. And so, like, if I'm casting like everything in TV and movies and anime versus video games, like, well, of course, because there's a much deeper cut to go into there. But again, it's just media. The same way cinema basically combines audio and visual. Video games just add another layer onto that. And a lot of media that we take in is just a kind of synchronicity of different types of art blended together in different ways for different end results.
Yeah, but the answer, the question is asking for our semantics in particular. That's the whole point of the question.
Yeah, no, I say what the semantics were when you were saying like, oh, you're never going to see a story as good as Battlestar Galactica. I was like, well, yeah, but you can't say TV and movies are the same thing if you're going to talk about it like that.
Well, I mean, you can compare them. Movies, long form TV shows provide, in general, for me, they provide much better narratives and much more fleshed out narratives than movies do. But TV never provides the images and the pictures and the images that a movie produces.
I know, but I'm saying it can't be everything versus video games in that sense. I mean, it can be in the sense of like, yes, if you had to give up video games, you could find the things you need sprinkled about other places. But it's not like video games are substandard in the sense that they're such a small section that has so very few good things in it.
But Brett, but what Carlos is talking about is the personal side of things. If he were to give up video games, if something happened within the industry that caused him to want to leave it, he's talking about all the other things that he has interest that would fill in the space of whatever video games are.
No,
right?
I know. No, I'm
Yeah.
not disagreeing, nor is it my place to disagree with a personal statement like that. I was just saying, like, like, be fair, like, apples to apples, oranges to oranges. Like, yeah, video games don't have all the best things, but they have some of the best things. The same way books have some of the best things, and TV has some of the best things, and movies do. I wouldn't call video games any less of a legitimate medium than any of those other things.
I agree with that statement.
And I was kind of getting the sense that you feel like video games are the short poppy. If you had to
By the
cut
way, when you say
something,
you're specifically talking about Carlos, I'm 100%
yeah,
with you on
Carlos,
this one,
Carlos in
bro.
particular. Yeah.
I'm 100% with you on this one, bro.
I'm just saying, those ain't fighting words, man. It just sound like you were counting video games as some of the less artistic,
but to him
forms
it is
of expression.
Well, no,
and that's fine.
I mean, I think in general for Carlos, it's not like if video games were to, if something angered him about what happens in video games, he could easily just walk away and have all the other things that he enjoys in his life fill in that space.
Yeah, could that be said for any one hobby though?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I know, and just to kind of meet Carlos in the middle. Yeah, I could. I mean, I'm already doing that with television. I'm like, this shit's whack. I'm done. And I left it behind, and I had other things to fill that gap. So I understand where you're coming from in that sense.
Yeah, a healthy lifestyle / is basically having a group of hobbies, none of which singularly define you. You should be able to honestly, if you have to, give up any of your hobbies and still live a rich, full life. That's just balance, man.
Yeah.
With the whole thing with me is when I think of what video games gives us, it gives us story, it gives us narrative, it gives us scores and music. It's like a hodgepodge of things that we love, all delved into one thing. And for me, it's like, yeah, I mean, I love all the things, but some of the important stuff with video games is, for example, narrative. But I'm like, am I losing narrative when I give up video games? I'm like, not really. I got TV, I got novels, I got movies. For example, I love some of the stories in video games, but there's nothing that's ever going to come close to Band of Brothers for me, and that's just that's just a personal take. That
exactly.
Hold on, Carlos. I hear something. I hear a message. It's from Adam. He says, "Band of Brothers."
Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
That's one of his favorite shows. He loves that show.
No, I will agree with that even on a personal level, but I will also say, I don't think any movie is going to get me the kind of like, mind blown experience that I had the first time I played BioShock.
Yeah, if for you, if that's the case, then yeah. But I mean, when I saw BioShock, I'm like, oh shit! All I was thinking about was all the sci-fi movies and sci-fi TV shows in my lifetime that did it. It's like, oh look. It's like it just.
Well, no, I mean the whole concept of like the actions being given to you and you going along with them mindlessly and that kind of being part of the narrative kind of thing, making you reflect on the things that you've been actually doing and the morality of such, like that's something you can only get
if
you
can't do that
actually
in a movie or a TV show.
Over to the player.
And that's why each
you can do that in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, but not in a movie. That's the point. It has to be another interactive medium for you to replicate that. But the point is, every medium does have its strengths and weaknesses, and to some people, some are more important than others. Just like me, I'm like, I could lose TV no problem because I got narratives and other things. Same thing with movies. I'm like, I got narrative and other things, so that's okay. Because narrative is like my main overarching thing. I need that above all others. But yeah, anyway, anything.
Yeah. I get narrative through long form TV for the most part. I like the interactivity and like I like building. Like I don't want to be relegated to like models and shit. I'm not going down the rabbit hole of like painting miniatures, so I'll just keep building my Fallout bases.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way I see. That's the way I see playing like a long like JRPG. It's like I just watched the whole season of something. Great, That's the way I see it. What about you, Brett? Was there anything that would make you stop playing games?
If they became an incredibly abusive, pay-to-win thing where content was actually being withheld from games and hidden behind like paywalls and DLCs, and they stopped giving us things like vanity items and cosmetics and shit like that, and relegating those things to only DLC, except for the fact that all of that's already happened, and for some reason I'm still fucking playing. So apparently I'm a glutton for punishment.
Well,
No,
I forgot to do one of these. Excuse me, Brett. It's already happened.
Whenever Brett is done with his point, I have some controversial statements.
Uh-oh.
I'm done.
More virtual.
The spirit of Richard Bailey Jr. is with us tonight, even though Richard Bailey's still alive.
Richard Bailey's like Zordon right now. His head is like
oh yes.
Oh, yes.
Yo, and he didn't even looking at you straight. He's looking off to the side. You know, his eyes are kind of closed. Mr. Magoo and shit. You know. Oh man, go ahead, bro.
Shout out to Rich. Here's. When Tony mentioned the whole thing with JRPGs, it just triggered me.
Uh-oh.
I fucking and people in the show know I love JRPGs as much as the next guy, except for Riku. But it's the story. I love stories in the JRPGs. I think that's what I love the most. I love the stories in JRPGs, and sometimes I think all the time I get sometimes this same feeling without each JRPG that I play, and that's the constant thinking of, man, I just want to stop this stupid fucking grind and just see what happens in the story because I'm fucking hyped.
Yeah, it's and that's all that artificial game lengthening.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Only reason why you need to grind 1,000 hours is because they couldn't fill 1,000 hours with gameplay.
Yeah.
No,
so
that does frustrate me too, man.
Because it's like when you're playing fucking Spider-Man, you're swinging through the fucking webs across from fucking downtown Manhattan to fucking Harlem with the joy of your fucking life in front of you. But when you're playing a JRPG and it's like a turn-based JRPG especially, and it's like you see a cutscene of something epic that just happened, and you know that you have to grind for 10 more hours to get to the next part. It can be fucking frustrating.
Yeah, especially the older ones, bro. Fuck. You know, they really did that shit. That's why I appreciate things like Dragon Quest XI. Like, if you just beat whatever enemies are on your path, you'll be leveled up enough, you know? Obviously, if you want to go off the beaten path and grind, you can. But if you just want to keep going with the story, you could do that, you know? The kind of second half of the game, then you do need to grind. But, like, for the first main core part, it's not that bad. But, yeah, that shit could get egregious sometimes, you know? But that's also part of it, too. It's like, we're also here for level grinding, you know? Just like Yakuza, I was like, I'm about to go to the final boss. And the game literally tells me, yo, you better go grind, motherfucker. You know, I'm like, all right, let's do this then, you know?
Yeah, it comes with the territory.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, man, you haven't put enough hours in this jammy to go fight the last boss, buddy.
Yeah. And then it turns out I overpowered. I beat the spec the last one I did. That was easy, you know, because I looked up like a guide and shit. They're like, oh, you need to be level 75 for this tower, but I read it for the wrong tower. It was like, because there's the main tower you got to beat at the end of the game, right? Then there's the same tower, but just extra, you know, in the post game, right? So I read I read the power level for that version of it. You know, so I was like, you need to be level 75 to beat this. I'm like, okay, I'll be level 80 then. Then when I read back, you know, when I beat the game, I'm like, why is the fucking last boss so easy? Because he was level 60. I'm like, oh, you'll need to be level 60 to beat the final boss. God damn it. I was already 60 when I hit the fucking sewers, you know, that game's version of tunnels, you know, of dungeons, you know. Shit is crazy.
Me, I always overcompensate. I'm like, I'm at the end. If I'm gonna fight that final boss, I'm gonna be so powerful. I'm just gonna smack that bitch once and he's dead. Level 99.
Yeah. So good stuff, man. All right. Obviously very hypothetical question. None of us are gonna stop playing gaming, you know. That ain't happening, you know.
I mean, even on the phone.
unless you're physically not able to
play. Yeah, that's the only way. That's the only way.
The hands don't work.
Yeah, then I'll watch a ninja, you know.
Yeah. he'll be about our age by the time that happens, true. Right?
So I'm gonna have to watch some kid that's like 23 years old playing Chrono Trigger or something.
I mean, he'll be like 40. He'll be like 40 then. So we'll be like 80, and he'll be like 40, right?
Yeah. There you go.
He'll be good.
Well, I can still play turn-based RPGs though, you know.
Nah, yeah, you just have to play. Well, here, oh man, come on! Like you remember that old man that was like playing like Demon Souls?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's
It was
crazy.
this old Japanese man. He used to play Demon Souls like a beast. I'm like, all right, old Japanese man, you good?
There you go. All right, good
Oh,
stuff.
the grandma that was into
Yeah, grandma.
PSP.
Yeah, the grandma gamer.
grandma,
Yeah,
grandma gamer. Yeah.
good stuff. All right, man. Next question here. This one is from Mob Hits. Right. Is Insomniac's talent being wasted on superhero IPs? No.
I don't think it's being wasted on the superhero IPs, but I would like to see them do their own thing.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart came out this year.
I would like to see them do a new old thing.
Hey, he changed. He moved that goalpost real quick. You know?
I moved it. No, I mean like Ratchet and Clank. Yes, that's one of their own things, but that's their that's their legacy.
Bread and butter.
That's their bread and butter. Even though it didn't do amazingly, but I would like to see them. I would like to see them do something along the lines of a little more than just the superhero stuff. But
You heard it right here. Manny wants Fuse 2.
I mean, I want to see. I mean, not Fuse, but maybe some Sunset Overdrive.
Hey, that could come back. That could come back. That could come
Oh, well,
back.
I think they own it now, don't
They
they?
do. They do. Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, granted, what if they put that one out? But then again,
could.
I mean, those
Two.
guys like that. They're just crazy. Like Insomniac and friggin' Sucker Punch, they're just blowing it out of the park with all these titles. I don't know how I don't know how many people they got on staff, but I know that they're throwing out a lot.
Yeah.
Like, was it Sucker Punch alone just did? Was it Spider-Man? Oh,
That's
Insomniac.
Insomniac. Yeah.
Excuse me. Did Spider-Man and Ratchet, and then they're doing another. They remastered the old Spider-Man games, made a new a Spider-Man DLC slash new Spider-Man game with Miles Morales. Then they jumped in and did now they're jumping into the new Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 2, and then they got Wolverine in the foreseeable future.
Yeah. So they're busy,
They're busy.
And you never know. They may be like, hey, here's Sunset Overdrive 2.
I don't know. I mean,
Never know.
They've also said that in general, they're able to develop Ratchet and Clank games relatively quickly. They did that first, that remake of Ratchet and Clank. Granted, it did use re-arted levels from the original game, but they made that game damn quick.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2 years or something crazy like that.
Uh-oh. Did they reuse assets? We're not supposed to do that anymore.
Oh no, yeah, the levels are all re-arted assets. The actual, obviously the characters are new, but all the levels and stuff are all re-arted. Like they just literally pulled them from the old PS2 game and then just put fancy new trees and shrubbery and all kinds of other stuff. But it's at its core, it's all the same old stuff.
Yeah. Mostly, it's still a lot pretty different too. I play. I'm like, man, it changes shit a lot. I was surprised, But yeah, can reuse assets according to some people on the internet or animations. Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
So no, their talent is not being wasted. They're good.
I mean, it'll only be wasted if they're not making good games, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, here's the thing: like they I guess they have the somewhat formula down. So, it's to assume that whatever they do next is going to be a pretty decent title. But
Yeah.
who knows?
Oh shit, Otaku Man was in the room. And he dipped. Later, Andre, we got to get you back on the show, bro.
Oh man, Otaku Man.
Yeah, they are called Insomniac for a reason. Motherfuckers don't sleep.
I mean, I haven't slept in a while either.
Uh-oh,
You can call me
uh-oh.
Insomniac. Oh,
No.
no. Yeah,
No.
it happens.
All right, man. That's a pretty easy one to answer there. Next up here. Would you buy more second tier / unknown full price games if they were cheaper?
Second tier unknown games.
Yeah, I guess he's talking about like hidden gem AA games.
I wouldn't mind. I don't mind the pricing for AA games.
Yeah.
It just sort of happens. It just sort of has to be what sort of strikes me. It's not like maybe I'd be more willing to take the plunge on something that I'm not too sure about if it was a lot cheaper. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but I still would probably be quite picky about it. So I don't think the price would actually make me buy more, but it might be it might make me a little bit more like all right, it's just a drop in the hat. It's only $10, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. My thing is like I don't care about the price. Like if the game looks interesting, then I'll check it out. Because think about it, there's a bunch of games on Game Pass which are effectively free. I'm like, I'm not wasting my time with that. Because that's the thing that's more important to me. Money's not really an issue. Time, that's the most important resource. So if something if something looks like it's gonna be a waste of my time, I don't give a shit if it's $30 for free. I'm not gonna play it because I would rather spend my time. I'd rather spend $60 on a game I know for a fact I'll like over spending time on some bullshit that I don't care for. So that's my take on it. I don't care about the price. I haven't cared about game prices since I became an adult. It doesn't matter.
I mean, the for me, like the $70 price range is looking a little,
Even
I mean,
that doesn't bug me, man.
That sort of bugs me on my end because it's like it doesn't, like, I'm not seeing any sort of advancement of this. It just sounds like they're just paying for the fact that they just managed to upscale everything. I don't know. They got to give me more than just, oh, hey, look, it's in high res.
Yeah. I should just say this, right. I've always been a person that buys one game at a time. Like I can understand if you're like buying a bunch of games, then you kind of want them to be cheap. But I'm like, okay, if I'm only buying one game a month, $60 is not bad, or one game every 2 months or whatever. So I just want to just throw that out there just to say, oh, I'm not swimming in cash or anything. I'm not buying a million games. I buy a game at a time and I play it, then I move on to the next one. So that's why price is not generally a issue for me in that end. You just got to get that out because everybody's financial situations are very different, obviously, and gaming habits are different too.
Yeah, for me, it's like, granted, like the time in between me buying games has actually gotten a lot longer, and that's not fully by choice, but it's also not the fact that some of the things that I see out there are not very interesting to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do also think the price, at least the current prices that are coming up that Sony seems to be pushing now, I'm not digging any of that because at the same time they're charging $70 for like old games that they're redoing on new ones. I don't know about that. You shouldn't be charging $70 for Final Fantasy VII, which is already a year-old game.
Yeah. Carlos.
I think for me, I'm kind of similar position as Tony. The answer is probably no, because at this point I just buy the games that I want to play.
Yep.
Whether they're $30, $10, or even if they raised up like to $100. If, for example, GTA 6 comes out or Final Fantasy 6 comes out next year and it's $100, well, I'm getting it
day one, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't like, even if that's the normal edition 100. Yeah, I'm paying. It's Final Fantasy. I got to do it.
Yeah.
Nah.
So it doesn't mean if there's Final Fantasy comes out and GTA comes out and two other games come out, but it's at the same price and it's like they're all $30. I'm still only gonna get the games that I want to play.
Yeah.
I guess I understand it when you're on the fence with something, but I think the price has to be really low if I'm on the fence. It has to be like $5-10. But the point here is you need the perception of getting a good deal in order to make that purchase.
Yeah.
So if a game comes out and it's $10, it's like, oh, I don't know about that.
But at the same time, it's like, isn't that the public perception of what a $10 game is? Like, you know what I mean? Like we've talked before. Yeah. We talked about the fact that, like, at least nowadays, why there isn't more titles that are all separate in price, because the general conception is if you're lower than $60, it's a cheap game.
Yeah, it's a stigma for sure.
Yeah. Yep. So that's if all video games are $10, then that perception is gone.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Are we still are we just loading up on video games?
Like, and then what's the point? When are you gonna have time to play all that shit?
Yeah, if you're not getting the perception that you're getting a good deal, then yeah, like if for example I get on Steam and it's like, oh shit, the fucking Legend of Heroes fucking saga is $10 for all the games. I'm gonna load up on the boat.
Yeah. Yeah, Steam is on another level though, Carlos, man. Fucking deals.
That is true.
You got the whole game collection for $1?
Excuse me?
Like, you know you're not going to play the motherfuckers either, but you buy them anyway because it's only $1, you know?
I mean, I'm wondering if that's the question, part of the question. It was like, if games were like that, if you get all them things for a deal, would you be more willing to pick them up?
But here's the thing, though. With Steam, you know they're not going to stay that price for long, so you got to snatch them up quick before they go back up again.
That's scarcity, too.
They know.
Not only that, but for me, I always get the satisfaction that those games are going to be there in 20 years from now if I ever want to play them.
That is true.
It's like 20, 30 years from now, sure, it'll still be there. Goat Simulator is going to be there, all good.
Exactly.
Just in case you get that urge. What do you think about this, Brett?
Yeah, Brett, what's up, man? Mr. Murdoch, there he is.
Fuck, I've been on mute this whole time. It's been kind of a meandering conversation. What exactly?
Do you need me to ask the question again, sir?
Yeah, ask me the question again. Apparently, I just lost track of it somewhere along the way.
Yeah. Would you buy more games if the price was lower?
Oh yeah. I genuinely don't know because I keep flip flopping, man. Like, part of me says yes because I found myself doing that before, like on fucking Steam. And then part of me says no because like I don't buy more games than I have time for generally. I don't build that collection of a backlog. So yeah, I'd be compelled to, but there'd be an inevitable slowdown. So I guess somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
I mean, it also does seem like it might be situational too, right?
Yeah.
I think if you, what was it? Oh, somebody, Carlos, you said of something about being on the fence about something.
Yeah,
and I would say definitely if the price was right, definitely would. At least for me, I would definitely pick it up because I was thinking about this game, wanted to play it. Now it's the right price. All right, let's play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, generally I'm not really that game's finally a low price. Now I'm gonna buy it. Like I don't like if I want the game, I'll buy it. That's it. As a matter of fact, if I go that far where I just don't buy it initially, that means I'm not really that interested. Let's just be real here.
Yeah, it's like because it's all about what you want to fill. The most important thing is what you want to fill your time with.
Yeah.
And if for example, Kena Bridge of Spirits is in that at that moment, then you were never gonna probably buy it in the first place.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Although to be honest, in that case, I will buy it eventually because it looks. I did a preview of it. It looks fun, but it's just right now I don't want to play it. You know what I'm saying?
I've been playing that game.
Oh, what'd you think?
I was just using it's the game I've been playing. That's why I brought it up. Just
nice.
The first one that came to mind.
Very nice.
Yeah. It's really good. I think the best part of the game is the narrative, and just the score, the narrative, the atmosphere of the game is really well done. The combat is okay.
It's all right.
It's all right. It's no Dark Souls, but every game wants to be like Dark Souls. But yeah, it's a good game. It's a really well made AA game.
Yes.
That's how I would describe it.
And it has a AA price.
It has a AA price, $40.
Yeah, it's $40. Yep.
Yeah, and then the other day I already saw people already getting the platinum. Like, it's short too perfect. It's just your boy right now. I'm playing that Arise. So I'm busy on that. So yeah, but Kena, we'll get to it. But here's the thing: it's still within the release window. Like I will probably get it within the next month or so.
So Tony,
yeah, what's up?
Oh, it might be too. No, it is too late for you. So pro tip. I was thinking about it's like it's not it's a short game, so I'm like maybe I'll go for the platinum.
Yeah,
but the platinum, you need to beat it twice. Once in whatever difficulty, and then a second time when the master difficulty unlocks.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of those deals. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those deals. And the game, when it launched, there was a glitch where if you beat the game once, you can glitch it to beat it twice on the master rank without even playing it twice.
Yeah, I heard about that. They fixed it though, right?
They fixed it with the last patch, and I downloaded the patch like a dumbass. So I'm like,
fucked
I'm
up.
not gonna play this game twice.
You mean kind of like what happened with Uncharted,
Uncharted 4.
4, where you could literally cheat into to getting the beating the game on the hardest level.
Yeah, I was like, because I was like, oh, I might as well just go for that. But I'm like, after I noticed that the latest patch it got rid of it, I'm like, I don't want to really.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the game, and I'm sure I still haven't beat it yet, but I'm sure I'm gonna love like the ending. But it's not one of those things where I want to revisit it because I still need to fucking play Deathloop.
Yeah, Deathloop. Get to Deathloop, man. Great stuff. All right, good question there. Moving on here.
I would say that would be a really good question for Brian.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, because he's Mr. Come Lately gamer.
Yeah, Brian. Like if you guys are not paying too much attention to Brian doesn't play games when they first come out,
except for one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, except for one.
He regretted that, didn't he?
Yeah, except for with the exception of Cyberpunk, he has not invested in any sort of games when they first originally come out. So right now he's playing Control, which is like the director's cut of Control or whatever extended director's cut.
Yeah,
but yeah, he so far he hasn't played anything on day and date in years.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, just to give a little roadmap, since I do play video games, unlike what other people think in this show, you know what I'm saying? Once I beat Kina, I should be done with that this week. Deathloop, and then I'm gonna go with your guys' homeboy, Death Stranding's director's cut.
Oh,
you're gonna play some director's. I noticed a lot of people have said they want to play Death Stranding for the director's cut version. It's a very interesting. It's go ahead.
I wanted to play it when it came out, but you know what was going on back then. So it's like I didn't. I bought it. I downloaded it, but I wasn't there to play it, and then I just didn't get to it.
Oh, okay. So so it's essentially Essentially, now since the game is shiny and new, now you're like, oh, let's do this.
Now that it's complete.
Yeah, it's funny because my review's not up yet, but this is what I said in my review. I said the director's cut is like really perfect for people who've never played the game before because they get to experience all that shit into one package. Like the new stuff isn't just like thrown in there just because like it's woven in there perfectly. You won't even notice what the new stuff is. It's just part of the gameplay. So they did a really good job with that shit. Here's the funny thing. I was gonna play Death Stranding director's cut, but now there's other stuff coming out, so I'm like, I'll get to it when I get to it.
Did that retroactively add all your trophies that you did from the
Yes,
previous
it did. Yes, it did.
Okay. I heard it's a little more convoluted though to do it now though.
Oh yeah, the save transferring is it's not more convoluted. It's just as convoluted as it is in other games. Because for example, Ghost of Tsushima, you download the PS5 version, and then from the PS5 menu, you could download your previous save from PS4. You're good to go. This one does it like Spider-Man. You gotta install the PS4 game, upload it from the PS4 game, and then download it from the PS5. It's fucking stupid, Yeah, because that's just how it is. All right, now we'll move on. Next question. Two sponsored ones.
Who's sponsoring?
Romu Death, man.
Oh,
very generous fella.
Guy.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
Because Mob Hits, he wanted to ask more questions.
The Mob Hits. That doesn't work. I was going to say the Mob Rules, but
no, it doesn't work. All right. First question here: will 2022 be the new 1998/2017? I want to preface it with 1998/2007. No, it won't be. I don't even think it's going to be another 2017. To be honest, I think we're going to get a lot of games next year. But we're going to get some heavy hitters. Don't get me wrong. God of War, Horizon. We're going to get those.
Starfield.
It's funny. You sound like the way it cut you off. It sounded like you said Garfield.
Garfield.
Hold on, Carlos. You're making me rethink this now, bro. Because if you give me two more big hitters like that, then it has the potential to at least. It's not going to be 1990. 1988 was fucking legendary. You cannot beat that year. You know, the only other year that competes with 1998 is 2007. You know, but so let's be fair here. 2017. Can we match 2017, which was that was like the best year in gaming in years? You know, which is 4 years.
It was the best. It was the best year of last generation.
Yeah, and it took 4 years to get there, bro. 4 fucking years. You know. Okay, so what we have coming? You guys in the chat help us out too, man, because we're old men, we forget. So what's coming next year? I'm talking about big stuff. Don't give me them indie games. I want the big stuff. You know.
Don't give me no little games.
Yeah, don't give me them little games. You better give me the big ones. You know. so we got God of War. We got Horizon.
Oh, we got Elden Ring.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Hold on, this might be.
By the way, Elden Ring is also a PlayStation 4 game.
Well, it's just for everything. It could be for everything.
4 game. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not. It doesn't have to be next gen exclusively. You know.
It's still okay. It still counts. Okay.
Did Breath of the Wild get a 2022 date?
I don't think it has a date. Period. But if that shit drops,
they're like, we're working.
And then it really will be 2017 all over again. You know, because think about it.
Yeah.
We'll have Horizon and Zelda could drop in the same year. Crazy. You know.
You know what?
That debate again.
Bayonetta 3's coming next year. Really?
It is.
Yeah. I don't care about it, but sure. Splatoon 3, sure.
I mean, they didn't just make a DLC for Splatoon.
Gran Turismo 7. Oh.
Saints Row.
Shit. Yo, I think this might be another 2017 in our hands.
Oh no!
Man.
Wait. Does the patch for GTA 5 come out next year?
Yes, it does.
I'm done.
Oh man.
I mean, it's got potential, and there's always those games that we don't know, and Tokyo Game Show and the Jeff Keighley show still have to happen.
And Ghostwire Tokyo.
Ghostwire.
When is Tokyo Game Show? Is it like soon?
I don't know. It's always towards the end of the year.
Yeah. It should have been.
It should be like November, or I always thought it was September.
Should have been now. September. Usually it happens.
Yeah. So we should have been gotten that.
Wait, Forspoken is next year?
Yes. Forspoken, Ghostwire Tokyo. Damn it, I missed that one. Let me go read this shit. Dying
Lego
Light
Star
2,
Wars.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, bruh.
I mean, next year's looking out to be a really good year. I mean, we were talking about the first quarter of next year is going to be stacked.
Yeah.
Shit.
Man, TCS is next week.
So yeah, September 30th to the October 3rd.
Oh shit.
Okay.
So yeah, it has the potential to be 2017. Let's say that 2017.
Yeah, not 1998.
Nah, no way, no fucking way.
No 1998 and not 2008.
2007.
2007.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, 2007. Yeah. All right, easy one. Has the potential for sure.
And just to mention, the reason why we don't think it'll beat 1998 and 2007 is because those years came up with franchises we had no clue fucking existed until that year.
Mm-hmm. Franchises that changed the industry,
Mm-hmm.
Industry.
Oh God, the industry.
And I'm leaving the industry.
I'm about to leave the industry times.
Yeah, Metal Gear came out in 1998. It's like, bro. Metal Gear Solid specifically. All right, man. Good stuff. Move on. Next question. Also mob hits. Will the Series S last this entire generation?
Yes.
I believe it will.
As long as there's a cheaper option, I think it'll exist. I mean, to be honest, like Microsoft is trying to get butts in seats. So yeah. What's the best way to get butts in seats? You put out the cheaper console, especially with the fact that not a lot of people still. I mean, there's a lot of people that own 4K televisions, but not a lot of people do, especially if you don't got a lot of money. So, get yourself a nice Xbox S, cheaper option. You can be good.
Yeah, and it's just going to be one of those things that's going to be here for the long run. I think even during the mid generation refresh, if we get that again, I still think Xbox Series S is going to be part of the lineup.
Wonder if the S will just be the old X, as far as the tech wise, and then the S will the new X will be even more powerful.
Well, it would be interesting if they go that approach. Like they'll just do the S and X, but it's just if they just move down. The X goes to S, and then the new thing comes to X.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting if they do that, but I just think that with the parts that they have and the way it's built, the Series S, I think they got too much money to make off of those consoles.
Yeah. No, yeah, I don't see them getting rid of those. It doesn't make any sense,
Nah.
Yeah, and also James the Wake says on the chat, especially having Game Pass, he's enjoying in the S. It's like, yep. I mean, with Game Pass, even if for some reason hardware wise it's not compatible, I mean, X Cloud is still there. So yeah, the S isn't going anywhere regardless. So I think it's here to stay.
Yeah. I wonder if that was like a rumor somebody started or something to prompt that question.
Well, I mean, I feel like
Probably
a
Jeff.
lot of people.
Yeah, man.
I feel like a lot of people sort of look down on that one, because it's not as nearly as powerful as the X.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they're doing a good job with it. I mean, even in fact, a lot of the games that you see, that are released on the on the X and the S. I mean, the X versions actually a lot of times run better than the X version, because they're not having to push all those. I think the console is not running at 4K, is it?
No.
No, it's 1440p.
Yeah, it's 1440p. So yeah.
Yeah, the barrier to entry for next gen in 2 or 3 years with the S is going to be really, really low. It's like you're practically going to be able to get a quote unquote next gen console for like $200 in a couple of years.
That's going to be interesting too. Like, do you think we'll get like a different model of the S?
Could be. I still think that the specs are going to be the same, but maybe there's like a slimmer version or something like that. Or
yeah, that always happens.
I mean, that thing is pretty damn slim to begin with.
It's going to be slimmer.
It's going to be the slimmest.
Remember that movie Thinner? That's where Manny and I was saying Thinner. Oh man!
If Chris was here too, he'd do the same thing. We'd be all like
Thinner. It's Series S2, the revenge.
That's a Simpsons joke right there.
Actually, I got that from. Actually, that is a Simpsons joke. Yeah, because it's inspired by Jaws, right? Like Jaws 2, the revenge.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious. All right, moving on. Next question. This one. Actually, whoa. Before we go to the question. Okay, Assyrian Air Force, right? So he did have a question for us, but it was just like, what franchise do we want to see revived? We've answered that many times, but he asked us for a request.
What?
He goes, yes, he goes, hey, everybody, it's my birthday, and I hope you give me a shout out. We will give you a shout out. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for being a loyal patron of Throwdown, loyal listener. I know you're always in the Discord as well, so happy birthday to you. And I don't know how old you are, but I hope you have twice as many more birthdays, brother.
Happy birthday, my man.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
We ain't singing a song because we ain't trying to get copyrighted around here.
Nah, man. Yeah, man. That the happy birthday song. That's a slippery slope right there. Because they want to get you.
They want to get you. All right. With that said, we will move on to the next question.
I wonder if the other version.
Give me a second. I gotta prepare this shit. What happened? The other version? What now?
I wonder if the other versions of Happy Birthday are all the one that they sing at fucking
here we go.
Fridays.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, that's the reason why they sing that stupid ass version of Happy Birthday is because the melody to Happy Birthday is owned by this one estate. So anytime it's sang in a movie or show, that is owned by them, and they have to pay a royalty fee to them. But as I remember, I think that song has recently gone into public domain. So yeah, I think if you start hearing it in movies and stuff like that, then they didn't pay for it. But don't quote me on that. I think it. Don't go singing that shit on the air.
And we're not singing that around here. You know. All right, next question. What is this, man? Eurocar.
Who it is?
Who him? All right. His first question is, what's one feature PS5 and Xbox Series X don't have that you want added? And you can't say more games.
The feature?
You
Games
know?
are a feature now?
Your car knows these dudes in the panel.
He knows, man. He knows there's a slick motherfucker on this panel. I use that shit, you know? All right. I want the feature where I hold the PS button and I could turn off the console. There.
I don't own a PlayStation 5, but I want it to do whatever the PlayStation 4 does.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Manny, me too.
Me too.
All right, that's my answer. I'm not even joking with the answer. Like, can I please get a quick select menu? Jesus.
Yeah, I'm with you. That was gonna be my answer for the PS5. It's definitely a quick menu on the vein of what Xbox does, what the PlayStation used to do. It's just more. It looks better the way it's formulated. You can navigate through different settings and friends lists and achievements and trophies and all that kind of stuff. I want that. Not even since day one, since day 0, since day 100. I'm not a fan of that interface.
Yeah, man. Fuck that shit. Yo, by the way, I got an answer for Adam. Yo, I just want them folders, man.
I just want the folders. You know,
I maybe by the time
why they take them out? I don't understand why they took out the folders. They was there before, and then they took them out, and it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, that is what Adam would say.
I just quoted him, man. All right, Brett, what's one feature that you want in PS5 or Xbox Series X?
Back paddles.
Ooh, that's a controller, but I'll accept that answer.
Interesting.
I like that. I mean, yeah, back paddles are fucking awesome. You know,
that's the thing that we fucking needed back paddles for like 10 goddamn years.
This is true. And Brett, remember the first time you had back paddles? You're like, why the fuck don't we have this as standard?
Why hasn't this always been a thing? Like, as soon as you use them, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, there's no learning curve. You're just like, oh shit. Like,
it was the last advancement in gaming controllers that nobody used.
Yeah.
Didn't the Xbox Elite controller have that? The back paddles?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Kishak goes, don't Scuff own back paddles. Maybe, but there are other companies that have buttons back there too, which effectively use the same thing. So it's not, nobody has a real patent on more buttons in the back, you know?
The Elite Xbox controller
Elite,
has
there you go. Elite has them. There you go.
T-Rex gonna have them.
Yeah. So they're not proprietary, you know? Back paddles, bro. Or at least a proper PlayStation Elite controller. You know,
even Sony has remember they made an adapter or a peripheral for your controllers so you can have.
Yeah. I remember that. That was some bullshit.
Here's the other thing: like, have the touchscreen on the back of the controller.
Yeah, that would be intuitive.
Vita,
where your middle finger already is.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like you got like fingers back there already. Fucking use them. You know,
it's the Vita controller.
Yeah.
It's
Vita controller. Vita's life.
Another first from the Vita that people forget.
Yeah,
like the touchscreen of the Vita nobody ever used, but that fucking back panel, oh god! Even if they would just use it for like double tapping or like shortcut or whatever, oh, it was fucking great, man.
It added a new dimension to the games. I mean, what's that name? That game called the one that the sun would come out and it's the picture of your face.
Tearaway.
God of War.
Tearaway, yeah, like
love that.
Tearaway, like you would get on a trampoline thing, and your finger would you can hit yourself and jump and stuff and break apart different obstacles. It was really well used by that team.
That's the British team, mate. Marco.
Marco is. All right, man.
Tony, that's not how we sound.
That's not how we sound. No, that's not how Brian sounds. But there's some motherfuckers that do sound like that. You know, Cockney dudes. You know, Brian makes fun of those guys. See, when Brian talks, he talks perfectly fine. You know, these others like, what the fuck do you say, bro?
he speaks the King's English or the Queen's
or
English.
he speaks Nottingham English. That's what he speaks.
He speaks Robin Hood
He
language.
does. He speaks Robin Hood. Yeah.
So
It's funny.
Robin Hood sounded like Brian.
Yes, exactly.
Confirmed.
Manny, this is true. I know how to enunciate. I speak proper English. He says the R's. He has the R's in there. You know?
He doesn't say Rooter either.
Yeah.
Instead of
yeah, they do that. Yeah, there's the router. If you connect all the connections to the router. I've seen some videos.
Yo, Gary, I know you're listening too, man. You got that thick accent though. It's that's Gary, man. Like I consider his London accent the equivalent of like the New York accent, because sometimes we don't say our R's either. Fuck that. We ain't got time for that.
Water.
Like how would you say we're like a thick? Yo, man, it's out of order. So it's out of order. That's how we would say it. But there's this out of order, like just vowels and shit. It's funny, man. All right, moving on. Where the fuck are we right now? Okay, let's say you didn't have to worry about life stuff, jobs, family, etc. What time of the day would you prefer to put most of your gaming time in? Nothing would change for me. I like the gaming at night, man. That's when I like gaming.
Yeah, I like to game at night, but maybe the night gaming would be a little earlier in the night.
Earlier.
Yes.
There you go.
I mean, sometimes if I ever do sort of game, sometimes it tends to be quite late at night.
It's not even night; it's already morning.
Yeah, and it'll go for a long time. So yeah, it would probably start at 5.
Okay.
As opposed to 8, 9, and beyond.
Yeah. For me, 7. Like on a good. Mm-hmm. Usually, that's what I do normally if like everything goes right. 7 until I go to bed. What about you, Carlos?
I would prefer to do it in the morning.
Interesting. Why is that?
Right.
Because I think with anything that you're doing, like anything that you're dialed into, like when you wake up, like you just feel the urge to want to do it and continue with the piece of entertainment that you're consuming. So I think it'll be that. Obviously, we can't do that because of our jobs and stuff, and most people are working during that time and all that stuff. But if none of that was a factor, then I would wake up, get into the video game, and keep playing.
Brian plays in the morning.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. What about you, Brett?
I usually game at night after dinner.
Yeah, and that would be your preferred time, right? No matter what.
Yeah, well, I mean, after dinner for me is like 9 o'clock. So
yeah, all right.
I get off work, I grab some food, and even if I got off work at like 7, though, I still generally eat kind of late, and so then I'll game for an hour, pause it, cook dinner, watch something while I eat dinner, and then go back to video games. Nah, man, I'll just push back and start playing around 9.
Yeah. Also, for me, I feel like I can concentrate on a game better at night. I also feel my reflexes are better at night because, Manny, I don't know if you're like this, but I'm like, it takes me a long time to actually wake up. I have coffee now, but I'm talking about I don't think I'm fully really awake until maybe 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
As I've gotten older, that's been like that. It takes at least a few hours for me to actually get up.
Yeah, I'm talking about mentally get up. And here's the funny thing. Think about it. I just said I really feel I'm at my mental best at 5. I've been working this entire time from 10 to 5.
No,
even then I'm always that.
I know what that is. I know what that is. I always felt like when I was working my day job, I would hit my stride around after we've had lunch and stuff like that,
that's when things start picking up. Yeah,
4 o'clock is around when I really feel like my head is in the game. But most of the time, it's more I'm sort of doing what I need to, but it's not clicking. It doesn't click right away sometimes. But yeah, 4 is around the time that I feel like that. Well, that's just from the workday though, just being sort of blunted by the work.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, but at least for me, getting up normally, like just in the morning, it takes me a little while to get up now. Like before, I used to just be like, wake up, get out. Like that was me in the morning. Like it didn't even matter what. Like I go to work, boom, boom, boom. That's it. Now it's like, oh god. And this is where Chris and Adam go. You see, more Chris.
Yeah, that's funny.
I will say this. I know, Tony, it takes a lot for you to wake up in the morning. Well, all I got to say is you better get used to it.
Yeah, right, for real. Oh, no, here's the thing. I could get up just fine in the morning. I'm talking about mentally wake up. Like, physically, I'm up. Physically, I'm up. Mentally, I mean, I'm still there. It's just, it's like a fog in my head, until like 4 or 5. That's when it finally lifts. Which is amazing that I'm able to get work done, quality work done during that time.
Again, when I was working full time, even when, my late 20s and 30s, that's the way it used to be when I go into work, and back then I didn't even drink any coffee. I was, boom,
exactly.
Now I need a little bit of that extra pick me up. Because
that's the thing. I've never been a coffee drinker until I got heavily into when I started freelance. I'm like, I need something else, bro, because I'm getting up at 9 in the morning now for this shit. Like, this is wild right now. Now I just drink coffee. And the funny thing, a side note, because I had never, I've drank coffee here and there, and I was like, I guess I'm one of those people who doesn't get addicted to coffee, So one day, I'm not going to get into it, personal shit, I couldn't drink my coffee, so I had a headache, right? I'm like, I haven't eaten today, that's probably why. So I finally eat, I'm like, that headache's still there, that's weird. Have a coffee, finally, headache gone, I'm like, fuck, I'm addicted to this shit, That's how I learned,
I said I drink my coffee so light, like I don't like I can go a day without drinking any coffee, but at least I don't get any headaches or anything like that. Yeah. But I do like to have it a little bit to kind of to defog a little.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Yeah, it's not like I'm waking up all day. It's just the fog is always there, until like the afternoon, which is ironic because after like 5, my brain's like, nope, you ain't writing no more today, dude. You're fucking done. So I think all my energy just goes into the writing stuff, But here's the funny thing, Carlos, just to add to that. On the weekends, I think my brain just goes into a different mode. I can just wake up and an hour later I'm playing a video game and I'm cool, You
know what it is? It could just be the work deal.
I think that's what it is. I think my brain's just, naturally adjusted to it, Because during the weekends, I on Sunday specifically, but I think it's because of the podcast. I game during the day,
I think the older I'm getting, the more earlier I wake up, naturally, not just because I need to wake up for work, but just my body just clocks in and it's like, it's time to wake up, motherfucker.
Yeah, it happens.
And I think that's when I'm in, an hour, just, brush my teeth, wash my face, eat some breakfast. I'm fully awake after that. If I shower in the mornings, I usually shower nights. But if I shower in the mornings, I'm awake. I don't need anything to wake me up.
Damn.
At night when I play, I've noticed this, more recently. When I try to play a game past 11, I can't. Unless I'm playing a multiplayer with people to keep me engaged, I just fucking want to go to sleep.
I have the problem of again, if I game too late, I know I will not stop. I'll just continue until I feel I'm ready to stop. So I'll go past that point. I won't feel tired. It'll essentially be woken. I just kept waking up because I'm so engaged.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. When I'm tired at night, if I try to read, right, or watch something, then I'll get more sleepy. Gaming, I could be tired as shit. Gaming will keep me up artificially, it'll just keep me engaged, and I won't lose any skills or anything. I won't like start fucking up or anything. So gaming is like a weird like shock, that just keeps me going until I stop. Then I'll get sleepy again. It's weird how that works, I guess because I'm just engaged with something. I'm not just like idly sitting there. And then with reading, even though you are engaged, your eyes get tired and shit. But with gaming, that doesn't happen. Gaming is a powerful drug, man.
I mean, they got you addicted.
They do, I guess. All right, man. Good stuff. Good question. All right. Oh, did I have the next one ready? I did not. Give me a second here. This one's from Logic Wins, who's been with us from the jump. So what's going on, my brother? Shout out to everybody who's been with us all night, man. You guys you guys make Throwdown what it is,
Yeah.
All right. This one's semi-related to TGS.
Oh.
TGS. And it was Logic Wins who told us the date, so appreciate that. Okay, so he goes, excuse me. It's been rumored that Capcom will announce a Resident Evil 3 director's cut at TGS 2021 with not only improved visuals but new areas, enemies, and cutscenes. Nemesis is also rumored to be more aggressive in this edition of the game. So my two questions are: let's go for the first one here. Will Resident Evil? Okay, what do you think about the validity of the rumor? It's a rumor, so here's my thing. That's a weird one because I would think Resident Evil 2 would be a better candidate for director's cut. That was way better deserved than 3.
Well, no, I mean, like, here's the thing, like, if you remember, like, 3 was nowhere near what the original 3 was.
No, it was not. So I see what you're saying.
2,
yeah.
In fact, 2 was more like the way 3 was.
Yeah. No. Okay, I see what you're saying. See, I'm coming at it from this standpoint, like monetarily. Right? Monetarily, it would make sense to remake 2 or director's cut 2 because it sold more. But you're right. Gameplay-wise, Resident Evil 3 is the one that needs a director's cut. And I'm talking about an actual legit, the way you think a director's cut should be, with added content because they took a bunch of shit out,
Like, Nemesis wasn't nearly as prevalent as he was in the original one. What was the biggest thing about Nemesis that was like
he was unpredictable?
He was unpredictable, and you could, essentially he was what Mr. X became. It's like they took the thing from Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and applied it to Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, so I agree. If one of those games needs to be like a director's cut, it's 3 because they even took out bosses. But again, this is just a rumor. We're not going to give any credence to this stuff.
Yeah.
But I would like it if it was true. But I'm not going to say one way or another. You know how we feel about rumors on Throwdown.
Oh, go ahead.
I beat the game. If they come up with a director's cut this quick, I don't even think I'll play it.
Wow. Why is that? Just because you think they purposely cut content or something?
No, it's just like do I really need to revisit this again?
I'll play the game. It's fucking short. It's like 6 hours,
Yeah, but I mean, 6 hours. I can play with Deathloop.
Yeah, that is true.
Because I don't know. I don't even think I'm thinking. I don't think I've out of all the director's cuts, I don't think I originally played any of these games or I beat any of these games. Like Ghost of Tsushima, I played part of it, but I never beat it, and then I beat it when the director's cut came out. Same thing for whenever I eventually beat Death Stranding, it's gonna be my first time. So yeah, I don't like to replay games that much.
Yeah, I'm a little like that, where I sort of just. But then again, my playthroughs are always one and done playthroughs, where I just get everything I can in the first playthrough.
Yeah, from necessity, I can't really replay games too much. But if they're short, why the fuck not? I mean, I replayed Resident Evil 3. I played it 3 times. The new one that came out because it's just so short. I think my best time. I tried to get it to 5 hours, but I couldn't. So close. Because I believe there's a trophy for that. Chris got that shit. He got the platinum and everything.
Oh, Chris is the Resident Evil. He's the Resident Evil.
Yeah, so we're not going to go too deep into it because it's just a rumor, but it would be nice.
I would like to see them return a lot of the gameplay aspects that of the original Resident Evil 3. I just feel like we and granted, this game wasn't even developed by the people that did 2. This was a game that was developed in tandem by another studio.
Yeah.
and almost didn't inherit all the advances that the original the remake of 2 got. So
Yeah.
it's almost like a weird throwback.
Yeah, it was still a good game though. Shout out to Darth Kane for following us. Appreciate that. Kane. All right. Next question here. Do you see a future where Code Veronica and Resident Evil 0 are completely remade for current gen consoles? These titles are much more deserving of a remake than RE4, in my opinion.
What was it? Code Veronica and what?
Code Veronica and Resident Evil.
Umbrella Co?
No, RE8, RE0. Wasn't RE0 already remade?
No, Resident Evil 0 was a totally new game. It was just a insert sequel, prequel. Excuse me.
So, just a quick question: Is Resident Evil 4 already confirmed?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's confirmed. Yeah. Remember, we had a whole segment about that. We're like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing? Don't do it." So that's confirmed.
I thought that was just rumors. Okay.
Well, it's confirmed. It's confirmed. Capcom.
Really?
And everything. Really? I would love Code Veronica to be remade because that game's fucking awesome. Like if they remade that game like RE2 and RE3 remake, hell yeah. I never played RE0, so yeah, hell yeah. Resident Evil 0, I never played it, so I have no connection there. But Code Veronica would be cool. Here's the they re-released RE0 last gen, but again, I'm not trying to go back to those tank controls, man. And yes, I realized you could switch the controls, but they still don't work, man. Because it's a weird thing because the camera angles are made for those tank controls. So if you switch to normal controls, then you still get weirded out anyway. Because at least with the tank controls, they stay consistent no matter what the camera angle is. This shit, it changes the control depending on what the camera is. So it doesn't. Either way, it doesn't work. The tank controls are unbearable, and the new controls are unbearable. I'm just to go back to this the thing that I asked. Maybe I'm tripping as hell, but I can't find this on Google. What, Resident Evil 4?
Yeah, like getting remade.
Yeah, man. Fucking Capcom announced it. We talked about it on the show.
So just to ask the audience first. Audience, do you guys remember this, or is it just me? It's probably just me, but I just want to make sure.
Is it just me?
Is it just me, or is it just me?
Yeah. No, you're right. Yo, Google, what the fuck is going on right now, bro? We talked about it on the show.
Are we having a moment of what do they call that?
Mandela
effect moment?
Yeah. Oh, please, I hope I heard that wrong. Please don't remake this fucking game.
Yeah.
No, but I remember on Twitter, people were like, what the fuck are you doing?
So let me specify for the chat.
Yeah.
Chat, do you guys remember Capcom announcing a Resident Evil 4 remake? Because Tony says yes, and I don't remember. It's not definitive no, but I don't remember this. Legitimate. There's always those rumors, but Resident Evil remake has been teased or leaked.
And remember, the whole thing was like they were remaking the game and they'd have to scrap it completely because it wasn't meeting the standards Capcom wanted. We talked about all this on the show.
People saying Logic Win says no. PyCon says no. Logic Win says I thought RE4 was still a rumor. Shout out to Sub.
Yeah, right here.
You got a PS5.
I'm looking at it. I could drop stuff in the chat, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I can't drop it in here right now during the show, so you can look at that. This from VGC. Capcom is working on a Resident Evil 4 remake. Osaka-based M2 is leading development on the latest series, reimagining. Sources reveal. So this is sources. Maybe that's why people aren't like 100% with it. But I remember there were some problems. Like they had this one team started on it. Capcom didn't like what they were doing, so then they went back to the drawing board.
M2.
Yeah.
M2 is the company that does the remasters.
Yeah.
How? Huh?
Here's the update. Capcom's in development Resident Evil 4 remake has seen a major change of leadership due to disagreements over its direction, according to people with knowledge of the project. Yeah, we talked about all this on the show, bro.
Okay.
You know? Update 2. More alleged details have emerged on Capcom's Resident Evil 4 remake project, including claims it will be co-developed by parts of the RE2 team and Devil May Cry 5 team.
So this is all reporting. Like,
it's
this
all
is
sources. Yeah, so it's reporting from sources. Yeah.
So it's not. There's no
official.
Capcom
right.
like.
Yeah.
Because like, obviously the reason why we all know this is because fucking Resident Evil 4 is one of the best games ever made, and it's super hyped. If there was a trailer for this, I would have remembered the moment.
No trailer.
If there was Capcom in a conference saying Resident Evil 4 2022 or something like that, I would have remembered that.
Yeah, nothing like that happened, But I remember, and me and other people included, we were very upset about this because, in my opinion, Resident Evil 4 is perfect. You don't need to change that game. Just make it look nicer. That's it. Have it running on the fucking RE engine if you want. Sure, leave it alone. Leave it alone. But it looks like they're going to do it, and I'm not surprised, And I heard they're going to, and again, just the sources saying that they're going to add more story elements, all this other shit from other games. So it's already getting fucked up, so we shall see. Okay, I think that's it. So moving on here. Final question of the night, people.
Final.
Right. First, a little quick aside here. Chackzilla, by the way. He goes, Tony, I enjoyed the preview. He enjoyed my preview of Guardians of the Galaxy. It surprisingly sounds like it could be a sleeper hit in the holidays. Listen, I was already sold when they said it was single player. Then I actually played this shit. I'm like, yeah, this is the game right here for me, man. It's like these guys just made a game for Tony. I got to go around the galaxy playing Iron Maiden. This is fucking awesome. Let's go. And it's funny. One of the bands in the game, they're called Star-Lord. They're the ones that inspired his name, apparently. And it's the music director. It's his band. Like, he created his own band for it. Because what happened is, it's not his own private band, but like what happened is, like, he did all the music for it, and he just did the vocals just as a test, as a fill-in. And the other person was like, "Yo, who sang on this?" Like, "I sang on this." Like, "Yeah, it's just a fill-in." Like, "No, you keep on singing on it." And they kind of, have that 80s Dokken rat kind of sound, So I'm like, yeah, this is definitely up my alley. Dude, I'm playing Where Eagles There, It's awesome.
They go. How many songs are in it?
I don't know, but so it's like, I could say, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But yeah, it's a mix of licensed stuff and the original stuff, so...
And it's all mostly metal that they're playing?
Yeah, it's all hard. I played a demo. I heard the only non-metal things I heard were just like, the ambient game music or whatever. Because, there's still that cinematic score stuff going on too, Yeah, but it's I didn't hear anything. It was all hard rock. It was fantastic, hard rock and metal. Okay. So I'm like, okay, you guys already won me over there,
Oh, man, get them kids to listen to some metal.
Exactly. Play some guitar, man. All right, anyway, but his question has absolutely nothing to do with that. He just wanted to.
Oh, no metal.
Yeah, he just wanted to give me a shout out. So thank you for that, man. So his question is, where do you, yo, Carlos? This one's for John Christ, bruh. Where do
is it about a certain S console?
Yes, partially. All right. Where do you see streaming platforms like Google Stadia and Amazon Luna heading in the next few years? Do you think they will stick around and just be a place to play third-party games, or will they legitimately have exclusive first-party games that might be worth playing? Are any currently in development that are streaming exclusively from Amazon or Google? Personally, the experience is okay, but spotty and unreliable. I think it will still be a while before we can rely squarely on internet connection without any in-home hardware. All right, a couple questions in there. Let's unpack some of this stuff. All right, where do we see the future of Google Stadia and Amazon Luna? Here's the thing. I don't know about the future of those specific platforms, but game streaming is here to stay. That you can't even debate that. The game streaming is here to stay. If it's not these companies, Xbox, Game Pass, bruh, So
everyone essentially kind of does it. Xbox does it, PlayStation does it.
That's right. Yeah.
Google.
So these two specific things, they might be gone, but game streaming is definitely here to stay. But if they do stick around, I think, yeah, they will just be third-party havens because look what happened with Google Stadia. All their fucking developers left. None left. They all left. And Amazon, they're still doing some stuff. They're releasing a new MMO this week. Jeez, I forget the name of it. Somebody told it to me. I was like, what the fuck is this? I never heard of that game. It's an Amazon game. So Amazon is still going to have some exclusives on there for now. But, we'll have to see about that. I do need to add a thing about what he said about the connections being spotty and all that. If you live somewhere with kind of shitty internet, yes, absolutely. But, and when I reviewed these platforms and others, I always made the stipulation because my experiences were flawless. It was like playing a video game on a dedicated console, and I had to make the stipulation. I live in New York City, and I got FiOS, bro. This is like the optimum of optimum shit. Your results may vary. So until we get that type of level or some Asian shit, because they got way better internet than us, over here, then it'll be more readily available or acceptable. But I wouldn't worry about it because people are like, oh my God, they're going to take my physical games away. You're good for another 10, 15 years. You're going to be all right, But so, yeah, I think in general, the future of streaming is secured. It's just, I don't know about these two platforms. I'll be honest, man. I think Google Stadia is probably going to be the one to go first. They really got nothing to offer, Amazon at least has something, But yeah, that's what my take on it. What do you think, Carlos?
Yeah, I mean, streaming services are here to stay, like Tony mentioned. It just depends on which one finds a more profitable venture. Google can keep this thing going until they want because they can afford it. But at the end of the day, if in 2 or 3 years from now, it's not a profitable part of the company, they'll axe it. Just like what Google does with anything that it's not profitable. So I think that it's they're here to stay. Google, specifically Stadia and Luna. It's hard to tell at this point. I mean, Google is with a Stadia. It's much harder to tell because, like Tony mentioned, they just got rid of their in-house studios. So it's going to be harder for them to separate themselves from their competitors. Microsoft, I think, is the best at doing this because they have a war chest of studios where they can provide exclusive content to their platform. So I don't think it's more of Stadia and Luna having staying power. It's more of the service having stadium power, staying power. So yeah, they might just if they break even, I think they'll just keep it there because the technology is just something that is going to be here regardless of Google and anyone else is here.
I think Ming's doing something else. All right, Brett, what's your take on streaming? Or actually, I guess these two services, Google Stadia and Amazon Luna, if you're still around.
Oh shit, was I on mute? There we go.
Yes, there you go.
Neither one seemed super legitimate to me, to be really honest. I don't really see either of them breaking out and being a big hit. I'm not saying that streaming can't work. I'm just saying that these streaming services don't seem like they're really set to go off. And I don't know what you really need for streaming services. Microsoft seems to get it the best right now, and even then, it's not a perfect science. I mean, it is. They just don't know what the science is, I guess. I don't know.
No,
so
I agree.
It works real well for people who have really great internet. But even if you have really great internet, there's going to be a slight delay there. And we game in a hobby where people use wired controllers and CRTVs to get around the split-second latency that comes with just having a wireless controller. So, I mean, it kind of matters.
Yeah, like I said, in my experience, and I'm talking about playing stuff like Destiny, I didn't notice a damn difference. So it's definitely in the eye of the beholder because I was expecting it to be input lag city. I was very stunned. And the first time I played that, a streaming anything outside of PlayStation, whatever back in the day was Xbox Game Pass, I think it was called Project X Cloud at that point, right? With a controller in a shitty, shitty hotel Wi-Fi, and it was fantastic. The quality, visual quality was kind of but like I'm like, oh, I can't feel a difference here, you know. But that's still a big city. It's still San Francisco, you know. So it's not really that viable. And Brett, I agree with you. These two services is like, what do they really have to offer in the end, you know? Like that Xbox already doesn't. Xbox is the best streaming service because it has a better game collection, better game lineup, you know? Like I know these other guys, you know, and here's the thing with Google is like, yes, they can pump money, but they also like to dump shit, you know? But Carlos, like you said, if they break even, they'll keep it around, you know?
So,
Oh yeah.
The one thing about the, you know, latency and stuff like that, I think a lot of it is also the fact that a lot of these companies are running predictive AI behind everything.
Yeah.
To essentially predict what you're going to be doing almost when you're doing it. So I think that's what's probably causing a you know, maybe the feeling that the latency is low is because there's a bit of an AI kind of assisting you, kind of like new RoboCop.
Kind of, yeah, and that's why I always say perceived input lag, because there's still input lag. That shit is there. It's undeniably there. It's just, can you perceive it or not? You know. Because like Brett said, even wireless controller, that's input lag too. You just don't notice it, but it's there regardless. But yeah, I think that's that. I want to hear John Christ's answer on this one. You know, Mr. Stadia himself.
He's quite into that Stadia universe. I mean, it almost seems a little unhealthy at times.
Yeah, he was very upset at Polygon because they didn't include Stadia or list Stadia with some game. You know, I guess if you're a Stadia fan, I could understand being upset, but is this gonna sound fucked up? My first thought was like literally, who cares? You know, but he cares, so you know, got to respect
obviously
that.
he cares. But I mean, the thing about it is, I also have to I feel like he also has to be a little bit more realistic about a lot of the way this is going. Stadia is not a factor right now, even despite him loving it. You know, it's like me and 3DO, right?
Yeah, dude, it's funny you say that. Manny, I felt the same when I'm watching this dude talk about. And John, we love you, brother. We're not talking shit, but when I see you talking about Stadia, I see myself talking about the 32X, or Manny talk about the 3DO.
3DO, you know, like, and even then we knew when it was over. Like, you know, for me, it was like they were going to be they were talking about this great thing called the M2, which was going to be an add-on to the 3DO to make the graphics like 64-bit, and it never happened. They were going to make it a whole new console. It didn't happen, you know. So sometimes you just gotta like, you know, I say at this point in time, enjoy it while you have. Support it, and you know, while you have it, but at the same time realize that you got to realize where these things are falling, and it's looking like Stadia is not going to be a factor anymore, especially with them losing all of their first party developers and canceling a bunch of their games.
Yeah, again, say what you will about Amazon, they still got original games coming, you know.
Yeah, so it's just you know, I don't know what's going to happen, but it may be a light version, so of what it may be a very light version of whatever is going to happen. Who knows? Maybe they'll pull something off, but right now it seems like they're just sort of coasting along with whatever they got.
Yeah. I agree. All right, man, I think that's gonna do it for us, man. So I'm going to make an announcement because it does affect Throwdown, and this is our people, so this is a good venue to do it. I'm actually not going to say anything about this on Twitter. If somebody asks me about it, sure, I'll talk about it, but I don't want to make a big announcement. I don't want any stupid haters talking nonsense. But your boy, Tony, as of, I guess, today, I am now going to be an employee of Tom's Guide. I am a full-time employee, benefits and all that, salary, your boy, no longer freelancing, man. You know, so definitely a step up for me. I haven't been talking about it. I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it. You know what I'm saying? But I've been kind of slightly hinting at. I said, I said like, what did I say, Manny?
stuff
doing
happening.
things or making moves.
Making moves. Yeah, which is what I kind of tweet every time I make a big move. So that's what's going on there. Thank you guys for in the chat right now giving me props. You guys have been with me for like forever, so you guys had to know. You guys are real, you know. So that's what's going on there. But so this will affect Throwdown a little bit. Throwdown's going to keep going. Don't worry about that. Just a couple little tweaks here. The main thing is we can't post on the coalition anymore. Obviously, it's a different site, right? So if you guys just so happen to still be listening to us through the coalition, I know it's not a lot of you guys there. Just make sure you subscribe to us. You know, subscribe to us everywhere. We're every podcast app, YouTube, Twitch, obviously. Make sure you do that. And you're going to also notice a little bit of a change in our intro. I can't have the coalition there anymore. But other than that, everything's going. I'm going to keep going because this Throwdown thing doesn't interfere with work. The only thing is, and you guys are going to be very shocked by this, I am now a civilian gamer again because I'm not going to be reviewing games anymore. I'm just reviewing laptops and tablets. So no more game reviews for me, and I'm actually happy about that. I could just play games for fun again, bro.
No more review copies.
No more early access. No more of that. Adam is not going to be our guy to handle all that on Throwdown. So we still have that legitimacy going on, you know. Yep. But the thing is, like, bro, it had to happen. I needed something secure. This freelancing shit was fun, but I needed something secure. So I started making moves, and with the amount of work I have behind, you know, that I've done, it wasn't hard for them to pick me. Let's just say that, you know, shit moved very quickly on that end, you know. But yeah, I'll be talking about games. Obviously, you know, like I said that, you know, during the show, gaming is my passion. That's my life. Never gonna go away. So I'll be glad to just be a regular civilian gamer again. I'm actually very excited about that, dude. I'm playing Tales of Arise, and I'm like, wait, I don't have to just zip through the menus anymore, man. I could just read this shit at my leisure. This is beautiful, you know? Now, obviously, I may review a game every once in a while because Tom's Guide still does have a gaming thing, and I wouldn't be surprised to go, oh, Tony, you want to review this? I'll fucking do it, you know? But stuff like E3 won't be happening, but I will be going to CES, which is going to be very interesting, you know? And it's also because, you know, the gaming stuff, don't get me wrong, like I'm talking about the writing specifically, it's kind of become automatic, you know what I'm saying? There's no challenge there anymore. This shit, because I had to actually posted my first review up a couple of days ago, and I'm like, I actually at work to review this thing, you know? And I'm not talking about it was hard or anything. It's just I had to use different parts of my brain to review. Like, this is cool. So I'm going to get into that whole sector and everything. By the way, funny story. So I sent this review out, right, to my new editor. Mad cool. Everybody's cool at Tom's Guide. And I'm expecting to get a bunch of notes back because I've never reviewed a laptop before, right? But I reviewed it as I would any other product. So he gets back to me half an hour later. I'm expecting oh, Tony, you fucked up here, you fucked up here. He goes, hey, Tony, this is a great review. Can you send us more pictures of the laptop? I'm like, okay, that's it. You know? Mm-hmm. So it's going to be cool, man. And eventually, I think, you know, it'll be this year. I don't know for sure. But your boy's going to be going to the office, too. You know, so I'll be a real white collar worker. You know, it'll be very interesting.
This will be Tony's first forte into the world of full time employment.
That's it, baby.
And all the things that come with it, working in New York fucking city, and how much they take off your fucking check.
Yeah, man. By the way, I did one of those calculations because I know how much I'm going to be getting a week. Then I did the New York calculation. Like, motherfucker, they take a lot.
Yep. They take a lot, and I mean, here's the thing. It's been like 10 years since I've worked. Well, no, I did work a full time job
a little bit, you know,
in 2019. But yeah, when I saw that check, because I was working on Contra at the time, when I saw that check, I was like, oh, I don't miss this.
Yeah. So Beata goes review an iPad Pro with the iPencil. I could theoretically review that if they give it to me, bro.
What do you guys want to know?
Wait, what happened?
That's like my primary work tool. What do you guys want to know?
Yeah, what do you guys want to know? I guess that's going to be my thing now, you know? Oh, no, ask Brett, you know. I think he's just joking around. He just wants me to review it. But if you do have that question, ask Brett.
Tony review it, yeah. But if you have any specific questions, shoot him over.
Yeah, he's more of an expert at that shit than I am, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to make that announcement here on Throwdown, not only because it kind of affects you a little bit, but not really, but because I'm like, I got to tell my people at least, you guys who've been rocking with me since day one. You see where I started, where I am now, and shit. And so yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys, and respect for the bits. Respect for the love you guys show me right now, man. Good stuff. The journey continues. A new journey begins, man. Again, the thing I'm most looking forward to is just playing games just for fun again, bro. I'm ready. Like, I actually have to go back to my old way of thinking. Like, okay, I'm gonna buy this game now, and then this game, and then this game. Like, schedule, because writing about games, it's just I play literally whatever's given to me for work. Like I didn't have to make a schedule. It's just whatever's in front of me. Now it's like, good. And also means I don't have to play more indie games. I'm happy about that. No more indie games for me. No. I'm done with that shit. So I'm happy about that. Anyway, that's that. So let's really wrap it up here. Manny, do you have anything to plug, sir?
No, not right now, but there's a bunch of stuff coming. I got some, obviously Excellence number 11 is out on the field right now, but I got a lot of stuff. You guys been hearing me talking about being up late and staying up for hours.
Whoa.
It's something coming. And then I got a bunch of other things that are in the works. So yeah, stay tuned.
Good stuff.
Oh,
and one more thing.
Oh, by the way, those of you in NYC, you can actually meet me at New York Comic Con because I'm going to be there.
Oh shit. So, yo, I'll be there too on Saturday. When is that? Yeah, when is that? When is Comic Con?
The 7th, 8th, or early October, the weekend of the 7th.
Okay, because not this weekend I can't go for reasons.
Not yet. This weekend, no. But let's see. It'll be October 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th at the Jacob Javits Center.
Cool.
So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Not a bunch of vendors. It's actually going to be like an old school New York Comic Con where there's a little bit more comic-y stuff because not a lot of the big guys are there. So. But you have a lot more other people there doing some stuff, so that'd be cool.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that, Manny? Because originally I had only planned to go just on Saturday because of the Rona. Now I can only go on the weekend because of work. Yeah. So I guess in the future when things go normal, what will probably happen is like when I finish work, I'll just shoot over because I'm on 42nd. So shoot right over.
Yeah, you can always come over.
But I'll definitely be there Saturday. So if you want to. Manny's the easy guy at Comic Con because he's stationary,
Yeah, I mean, in the coming, I don't think I have my table assignment as of yet, but we'll find out. I'll find out soon. I'll let you know. I mean, I got one more week to find out.
Oh, damn, cutting it to the wire, bro.
Yeah, it's like let's see, the second is this week. This weekend. I mean, this week. So probably by Friday, I'll be able to tell you full on, which means I will not be on the episode on the episode of the 7th on Thursday because I will be at New York Comic Con
working.
But yep,
I will be here. Normally, I wouldn't be here either, but I will be here for that one.
This for you guys. This New York Comic Con is going to be a little bit light one, I think for a lot of obvious reasons. So I'm going to have a lot of the stuff I had, from like 2019. So it's going to be a lot of that stuff. If you missed any of like my Solid Zero art book or you missed some of some of my prints, I'm going to have a lot of that stuff there.
Good stuff. All right, Carlos, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, you can find me at my OnlyFans. And the nuke. Yo, for those that love to watch Walking Dead, we have a podcast called I Am Negan where we go over the Walking Dead universe. That is The Walking Dead, The World Beyond, and Fear the Walking Dead. I'm only in the Walking Dead show, but all of these the shows are.
Because Carlos, you too good to be on the other ones.
Nah, man, it's just too much Walking Dead, man. Yeah. It's just too much.
Listen, man, we talk about valuing our time. Carlos values his time,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's just so much, man. That's why I don't do the WrestleCast also. So if you guys are interested, we're currently doing The Walking Dead because it's currently on. It just went up like a couple of hours ago. Actually, The Walking Dead season 11, episode 6. On the Inside, we reviewed that latest episode, which was a pretty good. it was man. They did an actual horror episode of The Walking Dead, and it was really well made. I really recommend, man, if you just want to watch that. It was really good. So yeah, enjoying the season. Adam Vale is the one hosting the show, and Mr. Richard Bailey Jr. from the Coalition is also part of the show. You can watch that on Spotify and where you get your podcasts. You just search I Am Negan. You can catch that. Or you can go to the coalition.com, coalition with a K, and check up for the podcast there, or the Coalition with a K on YouTube.
Good stuff.
I am Negan.
I'm Negan. Shout out to the Coalition all day, man. Obviously, we're still going to have the Coalition fellas on, and I will be on their podcast as well, so that association will not be cut, Coalition for life, man, All right, people, we are done here, so make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter, and join the Discord. You can find Throwdown on any podcast app by searching for Throwdown Show. It's 2 words, Throwdown Show, and you can visit throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. And if you're on YouTube and you enjoyed the content that you witnessed tonight or today, whenever you're watching this, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our videos go up. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. And tonight, I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Carlos Romero.
Later, people.
And Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
All right, people, you already know. Thursday, later.
Later, people.
Hey, take care, everyone.